Monday Buzz.
Yes.
Fascinating piece. Jason Taumalolo wants to play for Queensland. In fairness to him, he's been in Queensland since he was 13, but against that, he has played for Tonga and New Zealand.
He has. I just want to start by saying the landscape has changed since State of Origin started in 1980. Back then, not even 1% of the NRL were Polynesian players. By 2006 it had grown to 20%. It is now 50% of players in the NRL are now Polynesian boys.
And you know what that means?
What?
That means that's good for international football. Because they can go and play for Fiji, Samoa, Tonga, those countries where their heritage is. But Buzz, Origin is the stepping stone to Test football, to play for Australia. You cannot beat Jason Taumalolo, who's played for Tonga and New Zealand, now wanting to play Origin.
I think he's a Queenslander who wants to go with his heritage and play for Tonga. I do. Well, can I give you these? I've written down a few names. Daniel Tupu, Tonga. Daniel Saifidi, Fiji.
Oh, look,
Paulo
you go all the way. There's no doubt you can find.
Can I just say, Jerome Luai, the Penrith 5'8".
Come on.
He's got an NRL contract. You've got to state what country you want to play for. You know what he put down? He put down New Zealand. He's played for Samoa, but they picked him for New South Wales last year. Well, why is that?
He shouldn't have been allowed. I bet that was an oversight. That's why they did that.
Didn't we clean this up years ago?
Didn't we have
the 6 boxes that had to be ticked, and that was the end of the story?
No, but what Kenty won't accept is that, and I don't want to get over dramatic here, State of Origin ratings have been in decline for a long, long time. This game must remain a showpiece rugby league event.
It still
is. It has to be the best. 50% of the players can't play, nearly hurts.
But it's still the jewel in the crown. It's still a showpiece event on the calendar.
Wayne Pearce came out and told you in your story, he said, why shouldn't a player who's passionate about playing for Tonga be allowed to play for Queensland?
Yeah, why?
I'll tell you why. Because that stops a player who is passionate about playing for Queensland playing for Queensland. Because he gets his spot.
But what will happen?
Let me just show. Let me just give you something else. When the All-Star game was first introduced, it was the Indigenous All-Stars against the rest of the world All-Stars, the rest of the NRL All-Stars. So the other side had Lockyer and English players from everywhere else. It failed to grab anyone's attention. You know why? Because no one really cared. So what they did is they found something that cared, and they turned the All-Star game into Indigenous versus Maoris. And they found people, suddenly their hearts were connected to it. If you start filling Origin with just the best of the best...
All-Star game.
And it's not an...
No, it won't be an All-Star game.
It will become an All-Star...
It'll be for the...
Whatever magic makes Origin work...
Queensland all the way through schoolboys, since he was 12 years of age.
But look, you're already going down the step. Then in 5 years' time... You'll be arguing that the next Sam Burgess should be playing for New South Wales, or the next Sonny Bill should be playing.
Because all the boys like Jerome Luai are free.
It won't kill international football. International football came alive when Tonga beat Australia in the Test.
Kenty, they
should be building on that rather than losing blokes to go play Origin.
They want to play for their countries because they want to play Origin and get the 90k.
They're not. He's already played for Tonga. He's already played. Mal Meninga went to him in camp.
New South Wales side last year.
Mal Meninga went to him in camp when he was Origin coach for Queensland to try and convince him to play, and he knocked him back because he wanted to play for Tonga.
Cuts him off
I was going to say, hoops to do. I could listen to this all day.
I have got the right bower, but I don't want to throw it out there. No, because you'll accuse me, you reckon it's a vendetta.
How's it a vendetta?
Well, you're saying that what was the percentage of Polynesian players in the NRL now? This is now 50%.
50%.
So, well...
Used to be 1%.
Josh Papali'i has already played for Queensland and is a champion front row forward in the game. Tino Fasuamala-Awi,
Samoa.
But both choose to play for Australia, which means they're eligible for State of Origin, which makes sense.
I think that's a shame. I'd like to see him play for Samoa and
not international footy's coming alive already. Look what time they had the Sea of Red. It was one of the greatest.
Oh, it was awesome when Tonga beat Australia.
If you guys are happy for ratings to fall every single year and will end up be like a club game.
Well, don't pack up. Don't pack up. Don't pack up your gear and walk off.
Well, mate, I'm over it.
I'm told you're hanging around with hoops. We're doing Ask Kenty up next, but you two are staying.
Right, that was hardly a right bow, just quietly.